Hi, and welcome to the self worth module. So, self worth, that's something a lot of people talk about, but I don't know if it's always clear for everybody what that means. So, I'm going to dive into that a little bit. I'm going to dive into the mistakes that we do in relationship when it comes to self worth and how to avoid them. All right, so, okay, look, I'm sure you have certain desires as to how you want to be treated in your relationships, right? You want the guy to give you flowers or to ask how you're doing or to just participate in certain activities with you, or like there's these things that we want from a partnership, but we don't always get them, right? And this is where it starts already, actually. So, first of all, I want you to know that you're worthy of your desires. Okay, so the number one mistake that happens is we are with the guy, and then he doesn't do the things we expect them to do, expect the guy to do. Oops, he doesn't do the things we expect him to do, or we never said that we want this. Anyways, he doesn't do it, or we said we want it, and he doesn't do it regardless. So what happens is, for the most people, they get upset because the person isn't doing what they want from them, right? He isn't giving me flowers. He isn't like present in our conversations. He isn't doing this. He isn't doing that. And I mean, I get why you get upset. It's fair, right? It's fair to get upset when what you want isn't fulfilled. It's a normal reaction. Now, the mistake that most of us make is that we think, all right, because this guy isn't doing it, he's not providing this for me, I'm not worthy. That's the conclusion, even if it's subconscious, that most of us make when we don't get what we want. We're like, all right, this person isn't doing this for me, so I guess I'm not worthy of it. So here's where you need to think differently. Here's where you need to start combating these thoughts that come in, these conclusions that you make on autopilot, because it doesn't mean you're not worthy of what you want. I really want you to get this cemented in. You are worthy of your desires, no matter which area of your life it concerns. Like, we're talking about relationships here, but it also applies to other areas of your life. But, anyways, let's stay with the relationships. You want to be loved a certain way, you want to be treated a certain way. You deserve that. It's in your heart. Like, a desire is only here because it can and should be fulfilled. And we're putting aside by whom right now. All right, let's just stay with you. It's always bring the focus back to you. It starts with you. So past experiences have taught you, all right, this person isn't doing this for me, means I'm not worthy. Like, do you see what you're doing here? You're giving someone else the power to decide for you what you are worthy of receiving or not. And that's huge, because no one should have this power. Like, you decide what you wear every day, right? Unless someone says, and this is like a similar experience, if someone says, this shirt really sucks, and you then stop wearing it, you just gave this person the power to tell you what looks good on you and what not. And this is a simple example, but we go through life and we make these conclusions based on what we've experienced, what we are worth. Just because the person cannot show up for it, or they don't like it, or they can do it, doesn't mean you're not worthy of it. So that's where it really comes back to you. So what you can do to clear this, first of all, go through your past relationships and look at where you gave your power away. And this, especially when it comes to romantic relationship, this goes much into childhood, right? It's like, where was I not given what I needed as a child? So it's a lot of inner child work that needs to be done here to get these things out of the way. Because yeah, it's also, we got disappointed in previous relationships, but the romantic relationship is really just did I say shit? The romantic relationship template is really just a kind of a blueprint, if it's not healed, that got created based on your childhood. and your family experiences, or your like experiences with caregivers, or even like school peers and stuff. So, but yeah, I want to come back to that like self-worth aspect. So you really need to understand that just because someone is not giving this to you doesn't mean you're not worthy of it. So how do you like own your self-worth? First of all, you start owning your desires, no matter if they're being fulfilled or not, because that's a journey, right? We then, so I already talked about this mistake that when somebody doesn't do that, what we think we deserve, we then automatically kind of assume, well, then I'm not worthy of it. But here is again where the shift needs to happen. Just because this person cannot do this, and we're not coming from an entitled place, okay? We're not like, yeah, not coming from this entitled place, just like from owning the worth, owning your desire. Like owning your worth is basically owning your desires. And like staying strong in that desire. Like that's just how I want to be loved, how I feel loved. That's my love language. And just because someone doesn't speak the same language doesn't mean you're not worthy of it. So that really needs to change to start. So when you want to start reclaiming your self-worth, and just know that, yeah, again, just because someone cannot step it up or fulfill your needs doesn't mean you don't deserve them. But we can also not go and be like, you have to do this for me, right? Because then again, we give our power away, and we don't want this kind of relationships where we have to like threaten somebody to get our needs met, right? That's not where this is going either. So yeah, what then? So we know that we attract our relationships. We attract the partner that is perfectly right for us at the moment, right? So think back to your last partner, or if you're in a current partnership and yeah, your needs, your desires aren't met. That's a clear sign. It's a clear indication for you where your work is, where your work lies in reclaiming that self-worth. And it's amazing because you can start feeling into what you want, and then you see, oh, this isn't being matched. I want to say matched, not fulfilled. My desire isn't being matched by this person. So there is a gap in my energy, right? Because if I really embody this, if I really do this for myself, like the energy has no other chance than to match this. So what you have to do is to really own that. Again, own your self-worth, own your desires. Work on standing firm and, okay, this is what I want. It might not be matched right now, but then like feel all your emotions around it. That's important. But don't like attach, don't attack. Just realize this is just a mirror telling me, all right, here I have a desire, here I have a worth issue, like not even an issue. Here is something where I am not fully standing in my self-worth. I'm not fully owning that self-worth. So I'm going to go and do the work around that. And it starts with allowing yourself to stay strong. Like this is the whole overarching theme of this model. To stay strong in what you want, owning what you want, owning what you deserve, because what you want is what you deserve. And just because it hasn't been matched in the past doesn't mean you don't deserve it. So that's the essence here. Just because someone didn't give it to you, couldn't step up, couldn't match your desire, stop making the conclusion that you're not worthy, that only if they loved you they would try harder. That might be true, but again, it has nothing to do with your self-worth, with what you are worthy of receiving. That's the shift that needs to change if you really want to get those desires and that self-worth matched. Because every time you make the assumption, okay, the guy didn't show up, he didn't bring me flowers, all right, it has something to do with me, something is wrong with me, you just collapse all your energy. It makes you feel bad. It creates new stories around why you're not worthy. Like you're going to be searching for all the reasons why he didn't do it, what you possibly did wrong. And you want to fix it, you want to fix it, you want to fix it. And the only thing you need to need to fix is don't waver. Don't waver from the fact that you just deserve this because you want it. That's enough. And yes, sometimes we have to break up with people who show us that they're not able to step up because there are mismatches, right? When you grow, when you expand, when you do this work and your partner doesn't, you will outgrow him sooner or later. And that's part of it. And it's part of being also, again, honoring yourself enough to say, well, this guy can't show up. Like, I've done everything, and every time, like, I'm staying in my worth, but I feel like I have to like go down and meet you down there instead of you rising up. If that happens too often, it's a clear sign that you've just outgrown this relationship and you have to go if you want better for yourself. That's also owning your worth, right? Owning that, yes, I deserve better, and this guy I'm like my husband, my partner, the person I'm dating, they really repeatedly showed me they cannot step up to it. They don't want to. They don't want to do the work. They don't see why. Then you have to honor that self-worth and move on. That's also kind of part of owning that self-worth. Because if you don't, you lower yourself. You settle for something that's not in alignment with your heart. It's not in alignment with your true desire. For what? Why are you doing that? Because you think you cannot get better? You cannot do better than this? I promise you, if you keep doing the work and you keep staying strong in your knowing and being loyal to your heart's desires, your reality has no other choice but to match this back. And yes, you still have to like make decisions and like, yeah, make hard decisions. Decide that certain people cannot be in your life temporarily, at least. Sometimes they only know what they had when it's gone, right? But it's always like on you. You go first. We went a little bit off topic here. I still feel like it has to do with self-worth, but it's like I'm going to create a different module on like boundaries and moving on and all this kind of stuff. So I really hope this helps. As a reminder, what you really want from your heart is what you truly deserve. And you will know when it comes from the heart or when it comes from the ego. Because everything that comes from the ego is what I said, what I tied to the entitlement earlier. If it's just to satisfy a need for you to feel a certain way, then it's usually from the ego. Because the heart's desire is just, it's here. It's kind of here, and it's just like this like steady feeling of this is what I want. This is what I want. Not even to get something or make me feel better. It's just what I truly deeply in my body desire. Ego desires, ego wishes usually are the things that if I only had this, then, right? It's when we make our stories around, well, if he finally shows up for me, I know that I'm worthy. That's not where you want to come from. You want to come from, I am worthy, and that's why he's doing it, right? It's a difference. So again, stay within your power, stay within your worth, and take it back if you've been giving it away. Okay, so I'm going to close the model here, and I'll see you in the next one.